He said, boys, we'll take that offline. We can do that, no problem.
We're like... He was so excited and like, whoa, did we accidentally crack the code right there? Dude, if there's not a better sound effect for cracking the code, that's fucking sick, dude. Make the noise, baby. Welcome to the Smart Nonsense Podcast, where we talk about entrepreneurship, self-development, and challenging norms. Today, we don't know what episode it is. Maybe 94, 93.
It's the penthouse episode, baby. We got to decide if we're bothering people.
I think there's a bar on the other side. Y'all can't see. Maybe we'll show B-roll.
5-star hotel and restaurant.
Hell yeah. We are waking the whole town up. Belky, we got a lot to cover.
Where have we been, Pop? First of all, I hope there's no wind noise. We haven't thoroughly tested that.
That was the test.
What day is it, man? June 2nd.
Yeah. The last update I saw, it was, I think, May 22nd when we shot that episode, from unemployed to millionaire.
Oh, that
with
wasn't
a
that
strong
April 2nd?
question mark.
May 22nd?
April 22nd.
April 22nd. I'm like, we didn't shoot last week.
That's 6 weeks ago for y'all. It's June 2nd, is that what you said today?
Today's June 2nd.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Great start to the month. Today we got a lot of catching up to do. That was the last update on business. On our business. It's been
Don't get all up in our business.
Hey.
Sorry.
We live in like a really nice place, but relative to other buildings, it's kind of ghetto.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what I think
Oh my God,
happened,
the domestic violence happening the other day.
Fill us in, please. But what I think what happened in this building is, first of all, there's all these luxury apartments going up around us.
Y'all can see.
I think, yeah, right? I think what happened, tune in on YouTube. If you can't see, tune in on YouTube. But I think what
we're on the fucking roof. Did we say that?
We're on a fucking roof.
It's a really nice view.
We haven't made $1, but we're on a roof. We'll get there. This building, what I think happened is it's like rent controlled, maybe, and then so there's all these people who are grandfathered into the building, and then I bet they renovated it like 5 years ago. So there's kind of this old population in the building, and it's like fake nice.
Yeah.
But that's good.
Yeah. Well, here's what happened the other day.
Yeah.
I don't know where you were, Belky. It was just me at home, and I hear some squabbling.
I think I was in Rhode Island.
Okay. Oh yeah, I got here earlier. That didn't pan out, but
that is now the second or third time you have flown somewhere to meet an old lover, and it hasn't panned out once. You learned your lesson. Sorry.
No, dude. It's like it's a lot of upside, not much downside. I wouldn't have...
No, totally. It's only upside. Except for this story.
It's neutral
downside.
side here. But regardless, I'm here alone, and I'm just like bringing out the trash or going. I had to go down the elevator for some reason, so I go into the lobby, into like our floor lot, whatever the fuck
I saw you had the dinky little Amazon cart.
Yeah, I did have the dinky little Amazon cart. Oh, I just got my shit delivered. No, they delivered it but didn't bring it up because I had too many things, and I tipped them like $15,
it's
and
not
they
a
didn't
fully
bring it up.
luxury apartment.
There it is. So I get my little dinky cart, and I hear this squabbling going on, like on our floor, just like 20 feet down the hall. It's around the corner, so I couldn't see what was happening. Oh, I'm like, hey,
easy.
This is just what they sounded like. Hey, Jermaine, let me in. What the fuck?
There is video of this. I can confirm that is what it sounded like.
Dude, it was ridiculous. So it's like, what the fuck? Let me in. What, you got a girl in there? Let me in. Okay, I don't know if this sounds like a girl to any of you, but there's a woman saying this really loud and like banging on the door. And inside I can hear this guy. He's like, hey, no, get out of here. Who let you in? And I'm like, what is happening? I just want my Whole Foods. And so this is going on, and it gets like more and more passionate. It's like, let me the fuck in. I just got to go to the bathroom.
Passionate.
Yeah, it was a lot of, there's fervent passion out there. And so I'm just like, fuck it. I'm going to go down, get my bag, come back up, and we're good. So I go down the elevator. I'm like, maybe it'll just fizzle out, you know.
Give it
busy.
some breathing room.
Then I come
What'd
back
you
up.
say?
Vizzy.
Oh, do we
Easy.
have a pod for you?
Hey, this is a long pod. But this is just the start, y'all. We got some lessons too. But so I come back up and shit just heated up. The passion just went from 10 to 100, and I'm like, fuck yeah, that's what I like. So I'm like, I'm
That's
I'm
what I
sauntering.
like. As I see a video of you like squirrely pulling out your phone against your
dude,
leg.
Exactly, because I had my bags now, but I had to bring the cart back down. I was up and down, and so I'm bringing the cart back down, and I hear she's like, "Let me the fuck in! I'm sick of this shit." And then it's just like, boof, 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 boof.
Gotta give him the.
Yeah. And the
Break
door
their ears.
just busts the fuck down. I can't see any of this. I just hear it. It's like right around the corner. And he's like, "What the fuck? You breaking in?"
Pop, you gotta stop. There's one group of people up here,
Dude, they're just like,
and
they're
they
just
gotta
cuddling.
go.
What the fuck you
They're like, we gotta go.
So they break in, and this
Jermaine.
dude, fucking Jermaine, he comes out in his what do you call that? Like a robe. He comes out in a robe.
Oh,
and
nice.
slippers. I got video. We're gonna play the B-roll, and he's just running. He's like, "What the fuck? This lady broke in. She's not allowed in here. Who the fuck let her in?" He's calling the cops. I'm spitting all over the place. Like, that bitch going to jail. What the fuck she doing? We get down in the lobby. I'm just trying to drop off the cart. He's like, "Hey, you let that woman in?" He's like, "What woman?"
You.
No, he's saying to the front desk
Like,
person.
Pop, you did this.
And front desk person's like, "Nah, who? There's a lot of women. Like, who do you think?" Be like, "A shorty with the big butt."
They just beat me up. Yes, I had to run out the apartment. She broke down my door. First lady in my building. Some short lady with big booty.
Oh no.
I'm like, that's her. Actually, it was like something like black shorts and a big ass or something like that. We'll play the B-roll. But man, that was a roller coaster, and
Pop.
I was nervous.
Pop.
I don't know how much do we have to pay a month before we don't have to put up with that.
Pop. We haven't recorded in 2 months, and you have just canceled yourself right then and there. That's
Let
it.
me in.
That's it. It's over. The pod's over. How much do we have to pay? I don't know. We're paying a lot to live here. It's really nice. I don't know who's paying.
No, unclear.
Unclear who's paying. Sure as hell ain't me. I guess it's not you. Chase? I think Chase is paying at this point.
Points.
Thank you, Chase.
So, one, I don't
What
know
do
if
you
you have
learn
anything
there?
else. What did I
What if
learn?
I have anything else? We're like 6 minutes in. You told some story I didn't know you were going to tell. We'll wrap it up here. Jermaine might be up here.
Oh, dude, I hope not.
No, they probably got barred from the building. Well, they already were. They already were in
Oh, that
in the
guy's
building.
black. That's not good. Because, okay.
Oh,
I'm gonna
yeah,
get canceled
yeah,
for
you're
this
gonna
one
get
day.
canceled.
All right, see you guys. But we do have to catch up on the business. That's some interesting stuff.
Here's something on cancel culture.
Okay.
I talked to Nico a lot about it today. 12-year-old podcaster.
Hey,
Check him out.
You just trying to rub it in that you
No.
get on pods and I don't?
No. We went on a pod. We can talk about that. What Hasan told us, Hasan Minhaj, what he told us about...
They're like, why the
Clowns.
fuck are these guys talking to Hasan Minhaj?
we'll get
to
there.
that.
Hey, we'll get there. Jeez. But on cancel culture, comedy's like the last crusade, pioneer. It's like the last frontier. I just used 3 words of me.
It's a
three
lot of
complete-
things.
It's the last thing between that can like toe that line between what's age is funny and like life sucks, so we need humor, and like actually cancelable. What you just did, I don't know. That's for the
So I
public
gotta
to
brand
decide.
myself as a comedian?
Oh, yeah, and then basically, if you can call yourself out before someone else can, because you know your own faults, then you're going to be one step ahead. It's chess. And I know this clip is going to get played in like 3 years. I'm going to be saying these silly things, and we're both going to be hermits somewhere under the lower whack.
Oh, I just started listening to Revisionist History. They got one on Howard Hughes. Is that his name? He was some billionaire stud, or I assume billionaire.
Howard Hughes.
He was like
That
the
director?
fucking king of the world.
Oh, I'm reading his book. I'm like, Howard Hughes. Yeah, I'm
Is
reading
that
his
him?
book. Howard Hughes, His Life in Madness.
Ah.
Film director, pilot.
Yeah. He's just a fucking he's like Elon Musk on the next level, like
Dude.
dating models,
Yeah.
supermodels. He's like DiCaprio, Musk, and
Hey, get that mic in your
Fucking-
face.
Amelia Earhart all in one. So I don't know what I was gonna bring up.
Well, you
Something
should
about
read
him,
his
but-
biography. I'm about a fifth of the way through. It's
Oh,
fantastic.
that dude just became a recluse.
A recluse. that dude just became a recluse. Hey,
in my head, I saw the dictionary phonetic spelling, and it's like two syllables.
CLOOOOS. We were on an important call the other day, and you said collab. Like a collaboration? Collab. You said collab. And no one was laughing, so I couldn't break in to call you out for saying collab.
I think I noticed it when I said it too, and I'm
Nice.
like, people definitely say collab, right? A collab.
It's a collab. Okay, so
A
he
collab.
turned into a what'd you say? A recluse?
A recluse. All right, I don't know. He's gonna do what we're gonna do when we get canceled.
Him? He was alive in the 1930s.
Hey, can we get to the meat of this podcast? All right, last we talked, I think we're over the
Millionaires.
moon.
We were millionaires.
We were millionaires. Let's see where we're at now. Oh man, dude, what an absolute adventure.
We were millionaires on paper then. And we jinx everything we do. We're kind of millionaires as a thought experiment right now. But
I think
also, I have a lot of debt, and I think you owe me a lot of money.
I don't know where that money's gonna come from. All right. So last we talked, we had a HubSpot deal.
Great deal.
We're ripping with My First Million. We blitzed them. We got our foot in the door. We just pried that thing open, and we were taking
crowbar.
everything they got in a positive,
Win-win.
Win-win.
Everybody wins.
Started to get some L's, but for that time it was all wins. We're like, all right, HubSpot, they want a shitload of these podcasts, all the editing we're doing. Let's just ramp it up. We had like 8 editors just on My First Million alone, ripping it, dude. And I don't know how transparent we want to be. Fuck it. So last month,
I don't know how transparent. Fuck.
basically we had like My First Million alone, or at least Sam's shit alone, was 35.
Keep talking. I'm making sure the levels are good.
Does that matter? That
It's
shit
getting
alone
dark.
was $35,000 a month just for that one podcast. Fucking ripping
And
it.
we needed more.
So we had that. Todd, which is another 7 to 10K a month, 7 at the time because we were kind of neglecting all his shit, and then another project, Eric Sue, who came up, that was 5K.
Fuck him. I'm just kidding.
No,
Eric,
that was a really fun project.
it was
They were
a great
sweet. They were
project. It
sweet.
was actually the project that kind of got this innovation mindset where we pulled so many good elements from that project back to the work we're doing now.
And we got paid
It just
for
wasn't
it.
the right fit. It wasn't the right fit, at least for now. It wasn't the right fit.
So we were in a place where we had like almost $50,000 a month, and that's like a good number when we had. Granted, we have
That's
a
a
lot of
great
people.
number.
Like we ramped the fuck up, so we got a lot of people, and we got up to like we're at like 20 people right now, and that runs like $25,000 a month in payroll. So like 50% margins, not bad, and we still had some left over to fuck around. So looking good, right? But here's our mentality. We're like, we're going to work for free for a month until you guys want our shit. And once we get it, we'll pay ourselves back, kind of, we'll break even, but this is a long-term investment.
Oh, I forgot about the
all
month
this
investment.
money is just fake money. Because I was in the hole, like a shitload of money, and then we have all these stupid expenses with payroll and bonuses because we're like,
the bonuses pop.
Hey, it's good for the game. It's
Erica, if you're editing this, kudos.
Yeah. All the recommendations.
Kudos.
They basically know everyone in the Philippines, essentially, because it's all recommendations. We had like $1,000 every person you recommend.
Well, right. So I'm joking. These referrals are so important. Where you design them, it's like we're just gonna pay you a bunch of cash if you refer awesome people, because the upside of that investment is you
Right.
gotta fight with Ais about this, but you can't even quantify
right.
what a good
I'm like, if
teammate
you're trying
is.
to hire someone for 10 years and you pay a little bit up front, then other than the cash flow situation, it's a great investment.
Yeah.
So, other than the cash flow situation, we get in this shit where we basically like net even. And now we kind of like mentally upgraded our life. We moved out. We're in this apartment that's almost $6,000 a month, just Henry and I. It's like, hey, if
Put your mic in your face.
it couldn't be more in my face. You can watch the tape.
Roll the tapes.
But basically, we're like 70% HubSpot funding our company. So if anything
70,
fucks up
90.
there, well, we had Eric Sue in theory.
Yeah.
But then Eric Sue was like, "Hey, I'm getting 80 views on my
No, I mean,
clips,
yeah,
regardless.
we
so
never-
Why am I spending this
That
much
was just
money?"
a trial.
Right.
In terms of like shit we had contracted They were 90% of everything.
So,
and there's no contracts, by the way.
Yeah, this is all Sam Parr just being like, guys, this is sick. Let's fucking take it to the moon. And we're still kind of fighting over it. We'll get into this.
And by the way, they're growing at 20, 30, 40% month over month.
Oh, ripping
so
it.
It's amazing.
Results
it's a lot of fun.
I don't know where the credit's going, but I don't think we're getting a lot of it. So what happens? Let's go to. You want to go to New York, or is there anything that I'm missing?
No, we're good. We're going into New York. We're happy as a clam.
You bring us into the Scott conversation.
Bring us into the Scott conversation. Okay, so here's what's going on. First of all, our poor friends. Every time we meet up with them, it coincides with the stupidest fake deadlines we set for ourselves.
Oh, wait. Before this happened, we already planned a blitz.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's
what
I'm saying.
because we got nervous because we were 70% in with My First Million, and results-wise, our shit like was getting like decent, like 10, 20,000, 30,000 views, but not like bonkers level that we originally had.
So we make the call, and we weren't going to do it. But credit to Wano. Wano says, you guys, or he told me, he was like, no, you got to put the pressure on, chase after your next client, which we decided was going to be All In, the All In podcast. And again, like coincidentally, those deadlines happen to be when we're with friends once per year, so we were kind of dicks about that, but it worked out okay.
Yeah, Blitz number 1, My First Million, that was our other favorite podcast.
And the Blitz
now this
involves writing like 7 mini movies, getting a bunch of their edits from old content like mocked up to show them what we could do for them, and all of that's going to come to a head in New York, and that's when we traveled to New York. So what, we're doing that, we're being bad friends. We get to New York.
When did we start publishing your little mini movie vlogs?
Monday of that week. It was going to be Monday through Friday.
When we were in New York?
We went to New York on
I think we
Wednesday.
came into New York.
We went to New York on Wednesday because I had to shoot 2 on Tuesday. I had to shoot like 3 videos
we already
Tuesday.
Put a couple out, and didn't we? We already got some.
Yeah.
So I guess chronologically, you started ripping these vlogs. You put a couple out. The first one you put out, who responds?
5 minutes. It's a video directed to Jason Calacanis. He's like, boom,
dude.
retweet, messages me, or quote retweets or something like, you're hired. I don't know what the fuck you want. You look crazy, but you're hired. And we're through the moon. We're like, this could not have worked faster,
Does
easier,
that offer
better.
still stand?
That's true. We never actually... Wow, I don't talk to Jason anymore. Talk to David a lot.
Tearing up.
Tearing up. So that's great. We're through the moon. We're like, the rest of this week is going to be great.
Most people go over it. We go fucking through it.
Through it, dude. We get there. We put some dynamite in one of the craters and through the moon.
I felt like I wanted to do sound effects with you, but it's really fun.
If we're clipping on one mic, we're going to be
that?
clipping on both.
Yeah.
Okay, relax, Henry.
All right, so we got a little bit of response. So we're like, okay, this might work. This isn't the worst thing.
And not only this might work, we're like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe we do know what we're doing. Mm-hmm. We've done this twice pretty successfully, pretty quickly.
Right.
Okay, so maybe there's some merit to being crazy.
Right. So we're kind of...
So no, it was like, this is going to work. This is awesome.
We're pretty much piercing through the moon as we get to New York.
We got a javelin. We're just piercing it through the moon.
And then what is it, Friday? Is Friday our call with Scott?
I think it's Thursday.
Thursday. That sounds about right.
No. Wednesday night, Sean Puri texts us. He says, yo, I got this buddy, Hasan Minhaj.
Oh.
A lot of people know him as Hasan Minhaj. That's not his name, but it's Hasan Minhaj. He wants you to work for him. Can I put you in contact? We're like, hey, we're halfway through the moon, but if he's going to get us to China, then...
We need more celestial bodies.
So that comes through, and then I think Thursday, we have a very important call, mid-month with HubSpot. And we'll get back to Hasan.
Oh, yeah, we got some feeders from this guy, Alex. He's 100% responsible for growth of the podcast.
Wait, some feeders?
Feelers?
Feelers. we got some bottom feeders from Alex, the growth guy.
Yeah. So this bottom feeder.
I like that laugh.
So he's like, they're starting to get nervous because he's asking like, hey, how much are clips? Like, they never really...
No, Pop. They've been asking that for months.
They still don't know.
He still doesn't know.
But HubSpot, this is like right after they paid their invoice for $35,000. They're starting to be like, hey, why did we just send $35,000 to a podcast?
That's true.
They're really nervous because it's like, where does this turn into money? It's not very direct. It's not like 1-to-1. We've done other videos where it's like, oh, this converted 5 times better. That's a clear win for them. What the fuck is 44% bigger podcast
How do
mean
you
to them?
derive some return on podcast growth? They just can't see it as like this company that's very like regulated. They need to see return on their investment.
And Sam sees it, but they don't. So that's where a lot of squabbling happens. That's my word of the day. So what happens? He's basically like, hey, we got to touch base on Thursday or whatever, and we're going to go over kind of budget, everything like that.
No. We said we need to touch base on Thursday to talk about the end of the month and going into June and where we're at. He sends a message 5 minutes before saying, can you have this, this, and this? Right? You're on the phone with someone. Yeah. He's asking for like really, really important things barely a minute before the meeting. About how are we getting a return on this money? What's the growth strategy here? Basically, what are you guys doing? And we had 5 minutes of notice.
And so we get there, we're like, we're not really prepared because I literally just got off a call, and we're like, Alex, should we cancel it? And he's like, no, fuck it, just let's roll with it. And so we all get on the call, and it's Alex, Scott, who's Alex's boss. He's basically like manages the budget and everything for all of this, and then Henry and I.
Oh, by the way, he's taking Sam's job as just basically head of hustle. I learned that today. Sam's podcast guy now.
We don't know who's the boss.
Sam's just podcast guy now.
Is that why he's trying to take everything? So, all right, you want to go over the call? What happens?
Oh, yeah. Here's the call. Yeah, guys, so I know like we were at 30 grand a month.
We don't even talk. It's just Scott comes right into it, which is,
no, honestly,
we liked how he handled it, but
he did,
just came in hot.
Right, we're just telling jokes basically. All of this stuff is like super reasonable and pretty normal. But he was like, this 30K thing, it's a black box. I don't know what the fuck you two clowns are doing. We need to be at like the 10 to 15K budget range for everything, not just the podcast.
Henry, we're like, hey.
We're doing all the body language.
We're doing the math,
our necks,
and we're like, all right, Eric Sue doesn't want to re-up, so there goes that 5 grand. All we have is Todd, who's about 7 grand a month right now, and 10 to 15. So that maybe gets us to like 3 grand negative on our budget. Or on our like
3 grand negative.
We're like, payroll is 25, we're at 23.
Yeah.
And our apartment's another 6.
And we're in New York and food's kind of expensive. And the friends want to go bowling. Ooh.
So basically it's just like we're bent over, and he's like,
oh, dude,
hey,
bent over is an understatement.
Well, he was like,
we're folded in half, pretzeled.
Luckily for him, he's like, but do we have like a contract signed with y'all for like 30 or 35,000 a month? And like,
did you say lucky for us?
Lucky or for them?
Lucky for them.
Right. If they were signed up for like 3 months to that.
Yeah. That was the first thing he asked. He's like, where is the contract for this?
And like, we don't do contracts.
And he was like, thank God, because we can't pay you 30 grand a month for the next 10 months.
So basically, long story short with that, we're like, our budget's cut in half. We're negative. How the fuck are we going to pay everyone for this next month? We're just squirming in our chairs, basically. And everything's going in our head like, all right, who's like the best editor? Let's keep them. Let's consider cutting other people. Like, that's the last thing we want to do.
Oh, yeah, you were ready to lay off half the team.
I'm like, fuck, we need food.
Yeah.
And
you were like, what are we doing? Like, can we just get half the team ripping on this and everyone's just like comfortable and happy and it's much easier, less headaches? But we were mid all-in blitz.
So
thank God.
Well, luckily, so there's that all-in blitz where we're kind of optimistic there, and we had a lot of bodies on that. And then we ended up scheduling this Hasan call for a couple hours after we just got this bomb dropped on us.
Was that the same day?
Same day.
Oh, wow.
Remember, we were like, let's go on a regroup walk, and then we came back and we're like, we got to mentally prep for Hasan.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Because we Zoomed him first.
That's right. Like, we usually set up like one important call. And we didn't know that this Scott and Alex bomb was going to be dropped. Mm-hmm. So we took it because we thought it'd be an easy call, but it was 2 hours before Hasan.
Yeah.
Huh.
So we were rattled. We had to go on the streets, regroup, and then we came back. Luckily, we get on the phone with Hasan, and he's a stud, dude.
Yeah.
I love him. He has the best vibes. He's like, hey guys, I found this clip. You guys made this, right? Like, please tell me you made this because this is fucking sick. And we're like, yeah, well, we made it. Lloyd made it, our editor.
It wasn't, please tell me you made this. It was, how did a company called Smart Nonsense Media make this?
Right. Like, you
Please
clowns, what the
make
fuck
sure
are you doing?
that this was you.
And so we're like, yeah, that's us. He's like, hey, I love it. Basically, I don't know if you've, like, you know me at all, but I've done a couple Netflix special, Daily Show, etc. We're planning our next special, essentially my routine for that. And we want a lot of graphics in the background, all of that. I think what you guys are doing would be perfect. And we'd like to kind of talk more, see if you guys are up for it.
Right, so remember when we were like halfway through the moon and we took out our pickaxes? We got scared. We started turning around, clawing our way back out the hole. Hasan calls, gives us C4. C4.
Yeah, dude. C4 is like, hey, yeah, whatever you guys want, like budget, don't worry about it. We'll figure that out. It's all good. I'm like, I like to hear that. And that's the thing too. We came into it like anyone we work with, we're like, would we do their shit for free? And right out of the bat, we're like, okay, Hasan's an awesome dude. Like, he's talking on the call how he's like, yeah, Henry was joking like, oh, you got to tell Trevor Noah to like get out of his house and go back to the studio.
Ridiculous.
And he's like, yeah, dude, I've been telling him all the time. And I'm talking to Chamath. I'm like, dude, you got to step up your podcast or whatever the fuck he's saying. It's like, this guy is so...
His YouTube. Chamath needs to be doing YouTube or something.
Yeah. And so like this guy's just plugged in. He's dope. He's funny. He's just...
High
let's
energy, insanely creative, total visionary.
So he's in LA and he's like, yeah, let's meet on Monday or whatever because y'all have a busy weekend. We'll meet Monday, talk in person, and figure some things out. And we're like, sick. We don't know if this is going to be like $200, a couple thousand. We're trying to say like, hey, normally we work from like 15 to 35 grand a month recurring. So we don't know where he's going to be at. But we're like, that at least gets us to break even if this works out. Coaster is back on its way up, I guess. I don't know what direction's good.
The part that's like helping you get up. That part. That's it.
We should do all our own sound effects for our clips.
Whoever's not talking, just.
So now we're stoked, right? And then also just on the all-in front. Meanwhile, we're like posting these clips, and you're starting to get some responses, right? Or like some love, I should say.
No, they went a little bit dark, because they're like, okay, get on with it. We had like a 5-day countdown. Only Jason was interacting, but we had the final pitch to put out.
Right, so it was nice because the beginning we went, Jason, whose name you spelled wrong, and I'm like, you're a fucking moron.
Tobias! Yeah. Oh, that was a good one. The first video for the most important blitz this channel's ever seen.
Blitz is dependent on it's Jason's podcast. Like, everything goes through him. Literally, his editor is his nephew.
Name is spelled wrong in the thumbnail, the title, the description, and in the video in a couple of clips.
Like spray painted.
Spray painted. Oh, it was everywhere.
And so Henry puts this out, and he's like, yo, Dylan, give it some love. Like, we want to make sure they see this. I go in, and I'm like, dude, you spell it like Calicunis. Like, what the
Caliculingus. Did you notice right away?
Or was it on a second watch? It was...
I tell people the worst part is I typed his name into Google like 6 times. Every time along the way in the edit, I was like, that's it. Perfect. That's it. Right before I write it on the cardboard, that's how you spell it with an I. That's it. Confirmed. I see it on Google.
That doesn't seem possible.
Dude,
how could you do it in 4 separate places?
I just exist in a fog.
I don't doubt that. So basically, I'm like, Henry, I know you love this clip, and there's a lot of shit in it, but we got to take it down. He's like, dude, but look at the traction, dude.
I love it.
Ripping. I got 7 likes on it, and you're about to bring it up to 8. And I'm like, dude, no, bring it down. Like, first do no harm. That's our only rule. He's like, fuck, all right, I'll do it. Takes it down, puts it right back up.
It was fun though, because it was a moment in like, boom, pull it down. Okay, Ken the editor, you were saying things. I'm like, Ken the editor, we need to do 1, 2, and 3. I'm gonna go shoot 1, 2, and 3. Put 3 there. Put 2 there. And that thing was out 12 minutes later. That was fun.
Yeah.
After the fact.
Yeah, that was surprisingly quick. And maybe...
Thank God Ken was still awake. It was 1 or 2 a.m. in the Philippines.
Yeah, he's a beast. I don't know. His edits are getting nice, too. Jason, I don't know if he saw it originally. Maybe he was primed or something. I don't know what happened, but he interacted pretty much instantaneously on the next one. But the point being, Jason was first, and then we went to Sachs, and both of them...
Friedberg, I think.
No.
Yeah, because they kept getting bigger and bigger. Friedberg was pretty tame. Some sparks flying. Yeah, it was.
Well, whatever.
Friedberg.
Like the first couple, basically, we got responses, but then Chamath doesn't really go on Twitter.
Yeah.
We didn't get it picked up. Friedberg didn't pick it up.
We got Jason Calacanis to retweet Sachs's video. That was about the only other signal we had.
So it was
he said these public DMs are madness or something.
And we're like, oh, these are public DMs. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because no one's seen what we're doing before, but we're too stupid to realize this novel.
Right.
Like this, it just seems obvious. Like, hey, we're good at editing. Let's just make videos for them and shoot them their way.
When you're in it, and it's just what we do day to day, it seems so obvious. If it comes out of nowhere, this shit must be crazy.
Yeah.
Shina, I saw Shina did a clip. You and I don't review clips anymore, but I saw Shina just did one that was like, whoa, for MFM.
Really?
Yeah, she brought some all-in stuff to it. It's fast, action-packed. It's crazy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, we got a lot of love, less love, and we started getting worried. Luckily, Hasan brought us back up, and then Scott brought us down, and we're kind of on this like meh part of the roller coaster. We don't know what the fuck's going on. All we know is technically we're cash flow negative, which is not good. So we have like a dope weekend with the boys, reuniting all the people we lived with senior year, and then come Monday, we meet with Hasan.
Wait, we put out the final pitch to All In. How does All In resolve? It didn't really? That gets into squatter marketing, but let's talk about the meeting with Hasan on Monday. All In still hasn't resolved. It's 2 weeks later.
All In's crazy.
They just know we exist, and that's good enough. But the Hasan meeting was sick. He took us to this fancy place on like the south side of Central Park. That's clearly where all the socialites go. Like anyone who's anyone.
I show up in my T-shirt that's like way too baggy
brown
and like
windbreaker.
Shorts.
I'm in a champion sweater. And he's way in the back. Luckily, he's in like a goofy, not a goofy, but a T-shirt. Cool. Just a T-shirt. Everyone there is in suits, 3-piece suits, dresses, heels.
Yeah.
And us.
Old money. With a new money.
Yeah.
So we get in there and we
knew something.
We're just hanging out. It was fun. It was like he's a fun guy. He's so easy to talk to. Good vibes all around. Yeah, keep checking that.
I got to. The sun's going down.
And then we'll get to the
it was
juice
nice
of the story.
because he gave us like 30 minutes or an hour, and very early in the conversation it was clear that we both obviously we had a clear morning, but he also had like a free 2 hours or 2.5 hours.
I love that dude.
So it was just a really open chat for like 2 hours.
Yeah, that's the thing with New York. I feel like everything's so fast paced that it was just it was beautiful.
That was really refreshing.
Oh, I think at one point I think I tried to like kind of indicate, are we wrapping up here sort of vibe or like whatever, and he's like, do you guys have to go? I'm like,
and then he orders like a bunch of food.
Yeah, and we're like, sick. Like we didn't even really
he didn't order food until an hour and a half at least into this thing.
So it's just shooting the shit. He's like piping us up. He's like, dude, we can rip it. We can do all this stuff. Fun. Jamie, his production assistant's there.
And to be clear, why that's so refreshing too is because a lot of these guys, especially these millionaires, now billionaires, what the fuck, they don't have a lot of time. And so I've been trying to just get Sam on the phone the last 3 days. If you're in a call with them, it's high pressure, quick. They only have 10 minutes. So to have 2 hours with Hasan was like best case scenario.
All over the people we work with, it's fucking crazy. Like everyone that's made it has such a unique personality. Like Hasan compared to Todd, compared to Sam
compared to Sean even.
Yeah.
Compare that to David Sachs, who's a bit older, and J. Cal, who's kind of a goofball.
It's just it's like you go, I picture banking and I just see the same exact person. They're like all just grinding, then they drink a lot, then they come home, and they're just like very similar. But it's sorts for just crazy people, I guess. But good meeting. At the end of it, basically, I don't think we talked about budget. We're basically like, hey, we want to work together regardless. Let's figure it out.
Yeah, it was one of those things
call.
where it's either you do it for free or you do it at full price. And we were happy to do either, so we didn't even talk about budget.
Right. Do you want to just get to the conclusion of the Hasan case?
What's the conclusion?
Like what we end up agreeing on?
I'm kind of lost in the days. Just the dollar amount?
I guess. Whatever. It brings us back to where we wanted to be.
Yeah, but what's cool with Hasan is it's not going to be around forever, but it's this cool thing where we get to basically try and revamp his set in the next month. We can reassess then, tweak things, iterate more. build the thing out into like his touring set for the next 6 months, and then if that's good enough, we can start to talk about actually really doing the thing up as like a stage show for Netflix.
We can produce a fucking Netflix special, dude.
But knowing us, I texted you. I was like, this Smart Nonsense Media could win an Emmy. Because it is a really clever special based on what he told us. And I don't think he wants to talk about that, so we shouldn't. But, Hasan came in. He basically picked up the slack on the other half of what we lost from HubSpot at $15,000 for the month, which is a bit scary, but it's one of those things like, great, that gets us through another month. The team can stay.
Bought us runway. We get the pickaxes again. We don't, not quite C4, but it's something. It'll get us there.
We're down to like one iron pickaxe from Minecraft.
Yeah, and it's like me on your shoulder.
I'm deep in the hole.
So okay, we're looking good, but in the meantime, because we have so many fucking editors and like we already hit our budget for HubSpot for last month, so we essentially like, hey, we can't really make any more clips. We got 10 extra editors. Let's just throw them at all in. We're gonna keep editing their shit.
Oh my god, this is only half the story. Squatter marketing. This is what we coined like 3 days ago. No. We were in New York. We had been out for the evening. It was like 1 a.m. We were editing some all-in clips, and we looked at each other and we're like, all-in's our client.
All-in is our client.
Welcome to the Smart Nonsense Media ecosystem, all-in. Good to have you.
Right.
We high-fived. We're like, fuck yeah.
Here's the thing. Everyone's busy, and all they want is shit just spoon-fed to them. Yeah. Because originally when we made the clips and we dropped them on like Friday, dates don't matter, but whatever. we dropped them, and
Friday of like April.
Yeah. Sax was like, dude, I don't know how to download this. Just like fucking make it easy for me. Just post it or retweet it. And luckily, we figured this out like a week and a half before, that if we use Media Studio on Twitter, we can...
Pop, you figured it out like 6 weeks before.
Okay. Yeah.
We just never used it for some other reasons. Don't get into it.
That's very personal. We need an episode entirely devoted.
Very personal.
Dude, should we talk about that? Why our budget was cut? Our budget was cut. We produced $35,000 worth of content.
Oh, yeah. Talk about that portion of it.
Okay. We'll circle back to Sax in a second. We produced $35,000 worth of content, but only about half of that, aka like $16,000, was just made but not published. Sitting
in Notion, in queue, in writing, basically, on Google Drive, doing nothing.
You look at it from HubSpot's perspective, and they're like, hey, we paid all this money. Like, sure, the podcast is doing really well, and there are some clips going out there, but like, this is not $35,000 worth of content or shit in general. And we're like, we agree. This objectively isn't.
Yeah.
Because there is an entire bank of stuff that isn't getting published. And we've been trying to say
it's
like...
It's literally $15,000 worth of content, which is what you want to pay.
And that's literally what they end up cutting. So like, they cut down to what they were already seeing, basically. So maybe they're going to be like, oh, wow, well, nothing's really changed.
Every time I think about that, it's like really ridiculous.
It's upsetting.
Because we're at a point where it's... Yes, there are diminishing returns at some point, but it's also, when done right, it's more eyeballs, more impressions, more consistency. It's worth the money.
Right. And people tell us all the time, literally the Danny Miranda podcast, he's like, oh, I see My First Million. I see those clips. I'm like, I wasn't a listener, but now I listen.
Dude, people say, and I use this stupid line. Can we record that? And we're going to give that. I've used that line like 5 times because people they literally come to us and they're like, I started watching My First Million because of your clips. It's probably a little bit biased because those are the people we end up talking to. They come through our channel, but still.
Yeah, whatever. Basically, we had gotten... Who knows if they're still going to cut the budget, whatever, but it doesn't help.
Whether or not they were going to cut the budget, we didn't even have a case to be made.
Right.
Because we had no data on $30,000, what that looks like in budget.
So what ended up happening... We've been saying the whole time for literally... You could go back a month earlier and like, hey, we're making all this shit, and the person that's supposed to be publishing just isn't. I think they just have a lot on their plate. Can we just publish for y'all? And we just never got the keys to publish for good reason. Like, there's some security stuff, but fuck it. Like, we're making this content.
But
let it see the world.
For not a great reason is
let the world see it.
The reason you hire us and you hire Smart Nonsense Media is because the system is so strong that your content just shows up, and it's so easy and frictionless and spoon-fed. And we were making it hard by going through another person between us and our content and getting that shit posted. Totally unnecessary.
Yeah. So the whole HubSpot thing, like we're supposed to take on other podcasts, everything like that. Like we were envisioning like $100,000, $200,000 a month just from HubSpot alone.
That's how we became millionaires. Yeah.
Exactly. That's where the math checks out.
And it's still there. We lost kind of our position of influence, of authority coming in with this system because some shit got foggy in between. And we should probably fight for that.
Hey, fuck him at this point.
Hey, but go back to Sax.
So basically, Sax is like, he's lazy. He just wants it spoon-fed. Can't download the video. We're like, hey, we figured out Media Studio. This is what we wanted to do for MFM.
Sax is from the All In podcast, by the way.
David Sax. Hey,
way over.
PayPal Mafia. That's Rhode Island.
He's now a recluse from the PayPal Mafia.
Collab. So basically, he was in the PayPal Mafia, which, for those of you that don't know, they started PayPal early 2000s. Elon Musk,
Max Levchin,
Peter Thiel, who's the guy that started LinkedIn.
Reid Hoffman is
basically,
in there from Netflix.
All these people, everyone, like 8 guys, they all started PayPal together, crushed that PayPal, sold that thing, and then started their own. Did we say Elon Musk? Did we say that? Whatever.
Think you did.
They started their own companies outside of it, and every single one of them became a unicorn, $1 billion company.
Right.
So Saks, his unicorn was Yammer, which is social media for workspaces or workplaces, and
sold to Yahoo, right?
Yeah. So he's been crushing it. He has his own fund now, and he's just a stud investor, basically the king of SaaS. Now, Saxy poo. So
that's software as a service. Yeah. SaaS.
Hey, thank you. So, he just wants it spoon-fed. We figure out Media Studio. He's just like, oh, this is sick. I don't have to do anything. I just take your clip. I recorded the episode already. It's just in my inbox. I post it. Fucking amazing.
We asked him like why he's maybe getting a hold of these clips and his colleagues, the besties from All In aren't, the 3 others. And I think he kind of chuckled and he was like, honestly, it's just so easy. It's just, you literally just give it to me. And we're like, that's our edge right there.
And so the cool thing is, now, because we didn't get to squatter marketing, we basically, we kind of said it, but like, we just pretend they're our clients.
That's why
right?
we're still, that's why we're still talking to Sax, is we looked at each other and we said, they are our client now. We manifested it.
We have so many editors, they're just going to be our client, whether or not they pay us.
And if we just do their clips at cost, the exposure that's going to get us is...
Well, that week alone,
stupid.
You had 100,000 views on your account, which is 500 followers, nothing on Twitter. I'm saying.
Yeah.
So he's just loving it. Now he starts asking us like, "Hey, can you do a Bitcoin clip?" And then we're like, "Hey, let's get Arv, one of our editors, hop on this 8 hours. That's all you got. Let's rip a dope clip. Boom, in his inbox.
Yeah.
He's like, "This shit is sick. Let's talk."
He said, I want to do this. Okay, can you do the launch video for my new startup? Colin.
Or he's investing in a startup called Colin, which they mentioned on the All In podcast. We can roll some B-roll there of that.
I've been incubating a new app.
What?
Yes.
What?
That we're on test flight right now, and you guys, after this pod, I can demo it for you. And if you guys want to invest, I'm going to close around this week for it.
Beak's getting wet.
And so if you guys want to,
what's our valuation? What's the valuation?
Yeah, what's our insider all in? What's the bestie val?
Yeah, what's the bestie val?
I'll talk to you guys about it offline.
But all the besties are going to invest in it. It's basically live podcasting. Wet. Exactly. So sick stuff.
Sorry, it's a better version of Clubhouse, basically.
Yeah, it's recorded. Like, if you miss it in Clubhouse, you miss it forever. Here they do recordings, so you can watch it after. But it's meant to be like, I think it's meant for more, I think. Clearly, we don't know what the fuck's going on. But I think it's more like replacement to Apple Podcasts because it's more interactive. But that's less enticing as
there's
a
more
pitch.
Discovery, right? People can come in and do a live pod, and it's easier to find new podcasts that do that. There's after hours, and you can get in on Q&As, and you can literally call in to a live podcast. So it's pretty cool.
It's cool. So we're like, fuck yeah, let's do that launch video.
Zoop!
What's the launch video? I don't know. We've never done one before.
Where are we in the moon right now? I think we're on the front. We're on the front side because we literally never. We tried to do one trailer and it was kind of bad. And that's kind of what a launch video is going to be.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's never gonna get finished.
Not at this rate. Not with this budget.
Never, dude. Anyway. Never. So basically, we're like, yeah, let's rip it. We've totally done this before. And we get into the call. It's Henry, me, Jessica, who's like his executive
partner.
I don't know.
Operator.
She runs
I think
operations.
She's COO of the fund.
Yeah, Sax's fund, and it's like $1 billion fund. And so we get in there. It's just us four with Sax, and we're like, dude, what in the fucking world is happening right now? This guy asked us to be in this call, and somehow we are worth 30 minutes of his time.
And his maid just walks over and drops his food on the bed.
Right.
And he doesn't say anything.
10 seconds in,
or
he
no,
was
he
like
said,
disgruntled.
just leave it. Thank you.
Dude,
fuck yeah.
It's fucking crazy. And so he's basically like, yeah, I love your videos. I love that you guys just spoon feed it to me. It's awesome. Can you do the launch video? And we're like,
look, you're being consistent with the accents. One's more harmful.
How about you do that long video?
One's more harmful than the other. Sheesh.
That's what it sounded like, dude.
I'm with you.
I got the recording.
I'm just saying the public's gonna decide. I'll come to your defense for a little while.
It might be a little bit exaggerated,
so
but so
I wonder.
We get on, and they're like, a couple things. One, they're like, well, launch video. So, what's your normal process like for a launch video? We're like, well, launch videos. Or no, they're like, what's your process like?
Well, launch videos. He totally just.
They ask what our process is, and I think before that we're like, yeah, normally we work with like monthly budgets with podcasters that around like $15K a month or something. We always try and like say the number. And
yeah, you gotta weed out the nonsense.
Right. Just show them we're
Full
serious.
price or free.
So she's like, oh, what's your normal process? And I'm like, for like the launch videos or like the monthly podcast?
I think I turned around and left.
Yeah, we're not in the same room. Henry was in the workshop or the bunker.
Like,
and,
Dylan's got this one.
And I didn't get it. So I'm like, oh, so for the launch videos, well, Sax, what do you envision for the process here? And he's like, well, I don't know, I could talk about this, and then maybe kind of we'll go through the script, get it to you guys. We all don't know what the fuck's going on. And so I'm like, Sax, that's great. That's brilliant. I fucking love it. That's literally exactly what we do with every other client. We're just going to tweak it a little bit. We want to know the product. We got to know the product, so we got to see that first. We'll record it, get back to you. And meanwhile,
do concur.
Yeah. I've been telling Henry this fucking Catch Me If You Can clip of him being the imposter doctor, and he gets into the emergency room and like this kid's leg is cut or whatever, like how do we repair this? And like Leonardo DiCaprio's like, well, doctor, how would you repair this? To the other doctor in the room, he's like, well, I would stitch it up in this area. And he's like, well, what do you think, Leo?
Concur.
Like, oh, well, I concur.
Yes, sir.
Carry on.
I concur with Sax. And so Jessica,
Sax is COO PayPal Mafia. I concur.
We gotta put up the photo, but this is like a really intimidating room.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Sax has borderline Asperger's, and he's just like super. Actually, we did get him to crack eventually, but super like deadpan. And same with Jessica, just like
busy as hell and sick of people's shit.
It's like, it's just intimidating. And so you could tell they were just not satisfied with our answer because they wanted just a formula for what we do. And so afterward, we're like, we should create a fucking formula for this. But they're like, all right, fuck it. And then Henry's like, what's your budget for this? And he did the concur to us.
Yeah, he said, I concur your budget. But basically, there's this funny thing when you start playing with this much money. What did I told him? I asked him what his budget was and told him it'd be something like $5 to $10K for this clip, for this video.
I said that.
You said that, which is true. But to him, it's a split second. Okay, that's fine. No problem. We can get that done. And I'm like, I'm booking $1,000 weddings that are months of back and forth. Like, I don't know. Like, our budget's $886. Like, I don't know if we can do. I'm like, fuck that.
Right.
Let me, like, these guys are like, that
literally
sounds
everyone
fine.
with anything over $1 million. Everyone. Sam. Hey, Sam, HubSpot's taking too long. Yeah, let's just go 30 grand a month. Rip it on the podcast. Okay. Hasan. Yeah, we were thinking like 10 to 15, and we're like, 15 probably works better. Sure, run 15.
Because
Sax 5 to 10. Sure.
They've all kicked the scarcity mindset. They know there's more money somewhere.
Right.
Sam knows there's more money somewhere. He'll find it.
So
even if he pays out of pocket, he'll find it.
One is just dope to work with these people, and hopefully we keep working with them. But we realized, like, right after, we got to figure out how the fuck to do a launch video. We're way underqualified for this. A lot of just imposter syndrome shit in my head I don't even know what. I've never done a fucking storyboard in my life, but I keep telling people that's our process.
Yeah.
I've never once done a storyboard.
We'll spend some time storyboarding and then we'll concur. But other than those two things, like, yeah.
That's our entire process. Luckily, the next day, I read through StoryBrand, which Henry preaches a shit ton. It's about, like, making your marketing messages just hit home. Like, taking the Disney story, like, what makes them so great, distilling it into marketing messages. So
it don't lose, too. You can do it for literally everything. Hey, you're in a fight with someone? StoryBrand that shit.
It's like a brand.
We should brand ourselves with it.
I think we scared everyone away.
It's so simple, though. It's so simple.
So do we go to like the next meeting with Sachs, kind of try and bring us all up to date?
Yeah, end of that week we talked. Well,
this
where
week.
does Nivy come from?
Oh fuck! We got another client.
I'm building out all these.
And who's the guy today? Kyle.
I don't know who that is.
I have 2 of his songs in my Spotify.
Yeah, Athena said it's I spy with my little eye, a shorty and a cutie and a dad. So his manager hit us up. While you're playing that, so the squatter marketing for All In pays the fuck off. I get like a bajillion DMs a day, and is this I Spy? Turn that bitch up.
That's all the gas I got. Hold on, they got a little intro.
Okay, come on. Be patient.
That wasn't worth it.
Okay, and it was just the N-word. So, I think we gotta. I don't know what we have to do. We don't edit these. So then I'm walking down the road in Rhode Island. Don't know how I got there. I think I took a Greyhound bus there. Couldn't afford this place, and I see a message from Nivy, and all I really see is his crazy profile picture. He's like that, and I'm like, Nivy, the fuck is this? Let me pull up what he said to me. But I send it to Pop. I'm like, this guy wants us to do something for him. And then I look at his name. And
Nivy sounds familiar.
Nivy sounds famous.
Yeah, anyone with 4 letters in their name, you're like, there's something going on here.
Is that an opportunity I smell? Oh, that's right. He messaged me, yo, do you want to make one of those cool videos for the Naval podcast? Question mark, smiley face.
He put that many question marks?
We
Wow.
could pay you for it. Well, Nivy, first of all, I'm like, I don't know who Nivy is, but we do like the Naval podcast, so if he's just a fan and he wants to do a little fanimation, we'll do it. No doubt. You don't got to pay us, we'll do it.
I mean, literally, I was listening to Spearhead, which is one of Naval's podcasts. He has another one that's super popular. This is like our idol. I don't think... Naval.
Right.
Well, Nivy is his business partner.
Well, right. So no,
he's on all these podcasts with him.
But
it's
so
Nivy and Naval.
I send it to you. I don't listen to these things. I send it to you, and then I do some espionage on Google with Nivy, and I see espionage, and I see Nivy, co-founder AngelList, like early investor Uber. And I'm like, oh fuck, this dude started AngelList with Naval Ravikant. Therefore, he's totally in on the pod. This isn't a fan.
Dude, they're co-hosts.
They're co-hosts.
Hey, this is Nivy. You're listening to the Naval podcast.
Oh, is he always the guy
He's
like
the guy
on the phone?
Asking, dude.
Get the fuck out.
He's the guy
I thought that
asking
was
the
some
questions.
Yonton.
No, dude.
I thought that was like someone like you or I, like
That's
a college
Nivy.
fucking intern. Nivy, I'm sorry.
That's
his last name, by the way. That's his last name. But we're gonna go for that from his Twitter profile. Where are we at? This is great. 53 minutes. Thanks for being here.
Carol, hope you like it.
So Nivy says, can you make this clip? He's like, let's just hop in Slack and duke it out. And we're like, not only can we make one clip, we're going to over-deliver because if we didn't go to MFM and we didn't go to All In, our next like North Star client is Naval Ravikant. So we're just going to over-deliver. And MFM's not paying us anymore, so we're going to put like everyone we got on Naval.
And boom, this morning we delivered.
Oh, yeah. We delivered this morning. He hits us back. Well done, mates. Great work, mates. Sending to Naval. Sending to Naval.
Naval's going to see us.
And the last scene is Naval as Yoda. Just like,
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda with a quote like,
I saw you guys.
Peace is
you
the
guys,
truth.
Right. I saw you guys were working on that till like 2, 3 in the morning.
Dude, like, we have the craziest thread, dude.
It was.
They're
I've
my
never seen
closest
anything
friends.
like that.
That thread?
From the team. Yeah, you really cracked the code on like the humor from the team. That was great.
I haven't talked to him in months.
Yeah. How did one-on-ones go?
I only did one with Gene.
How was Gene?
And I almost fell asleep.
Nothing
Gene's
probably
awesome.
to do with
Gene's
Gene,
awesome.
right?
No. It's just like me. I
You've
don't know.
been putting those
I
off
think
for
I'm burnt
weeks.
the fuck out, dude.
Yeah. No,
But-
we haven't stopped.
Yeah, there's no weekends or anything because it's just like run out of money, make more money, run out of money, make more money.
Visor.
On repeat. Vizzy.
No.
Oh.
No, I talked to my dad at lunch. The company's called Visor. We make things that are called Vizzies. Twitter has tweets. Visor has Vizzies.
What the fuck? A Vizzy is just a video. We're not a platform.
It's a little
now.
video clip. No,
A Vizzy.
Pop, we got to build out the AI.
So people are gonna be like, hey,
we need to
here's
go
a
to
Vizzy.
David Sachs and say, yo, PayPal Mafia, David Sachs, dude. We got to talk about wetting our beaks. But really
That was
quick,
brilliant.
because and we should talk to my dad about this, but we could really go to Sachs and be like, hey, can we have some money to build out the AI portion of this thing that would be the Canva for video?
Canva for video sounds nice.
That's the golden. You don't listen to MFM anymore. They talk about it like every week. Who's gonna build the Canva for video? We're like, we can,
I don't, dude.
and
I
we can
hate
tell
it.
Sachs to give us the money to do it. Anyway, that's not totally developed. Wet our beaks.
Yeah.
The last thing. This was yesterday, and we might finally dig ourselves out of the hole with the call. Oh, can we not talk about this? He said to do it offline.
Fuck them.
Fuck them, dude. You work with Smart Nonsense Media. We divulge everything except for Hasan Minhaj because he actually told us not to.
Yeah, unless you explicitly say, do not say this. Taking offline, that don't count. But we came in, basically, Henry and I were like...
Go to before the call
Yeah, before the call.
because you had the idea.
My thing is like, okay, we're gonna get 5 to 10 grand depending on how in depth this video is. That's like money, but we probably don't need it. What would be a lot more interesting is let's get some skin in the game and see if we can get equity in call-in. Cause that's sick. Like I was listening to Naval's Spearhead podcast, and they're all like angel investors or anyone in the early rounds. If it's a good company, it is hard to get in. Like access is the number one thing because they're always asking like, what can you bring to the table with every investor? And so basically Sachs was like to the all-in guys, Chamath, all of them, he's like, hey, I can make some space for you in this fund. Like make some space is the term. And so we're like, it's probably hard to get in, but it'd be super interesting if now we're producing all their content and we have skin in the game where it's like, if this blows up and becomes the next Clubhouse billion-dollar company, we might wet our beaks quite a bit here. They could be drenched.
I smell a wet beak.
So we're trying to figure out, like, one, we don't know if we want this because we kind of need some cash flow. But two, if it were to happen, that'd be the craziest shit if we actually make our real money. Oh, we didn't even say this, dude. So we're on the call, that original call with Sachs. Yeah, he's like, hey, this call and launch, like, we want to do that video, but I also have a million other explainer videos. I have all these essays online that I want to turn into videos. I also have a fucking fund.
150 portfolio companies.
Dude, we couldn't even do all the videos for all of them, and like in any world. But he's like, I want to do videos for all of this. Like, if this works out, let's do it for everything.
And that's when we realized we are the Silicon Valley startup marketers because none of these companies know how to tell their stories.
So bad, dude.
None of them.
They're
You
all
just gotta
operators
read
and
story
technical
brand.
people. So that's where we swoop in, and so where the fuck? How are we connected?
Before this important call, we're like, okay, how do we ask for a stake in the thing? We're like, we don't really know. We don't know how to get $10,000 cash. So we call my dad, Wano. And then we say, Wano the lawyer, what do we got to do to wet our beaks? And he's like, for 10 minutes, he's just like, it would be hard for this reason, and it would be complex for this reason, and Sachs probably wouldn't be inclined to do it because of this. Basically, like, Sachs has the money. Why would he? He doesn't need to give you a stake in the thing to pay you because he can just pay you out of pocket. It's easier. Yada, yada, yada. We're like, totally true. Scrap it. We'll take the cash.
We pretty much just forgot it. We're like, this shit's too complicated. He likes stuff spoon-fed. This isn't spoon-fed.
What are we doing here?
And we get on the call, and it's sort of like a demo call is technically what we're supposed to be doing.
With a lot of people. There's
Right.
7 of us, maybe.
Right, which the whole time
7.
I'm like, are we wasting people's time? But, excuse me, these, what are these? White Claws.
Yeah, I wish I
Ripping
brought
it.
like 3 up here.
You already...
Oh, Ben gone, Pop.
Oh, easy.
Ben gone.
Smash. So, Axel is the COO.
CTO.
CTO. Yeah. my bad. CTO, and he's running us through the whole app, and it's actually sick. Like, it's a dope app. We're big podcast audiophiles. Like, we love this stuff. So after, I was just generally like, hey, this is a lot doper than I thought it'd be.
True.
Like, I kind of wish we took equity instead of cash.
You said that explicitly.
Yeah.
You didn't. That wasn't an afterthought. You said that explicitly.
I was like, yeah, I wish you just paid us in equity. And then keep in mind, Jessica
And that was
and
totally.
Sax.
That was totally. What's the word? Like, you weren't trying to do anything. Naive or
Right.
totally harmless. Like.
I'm like, oh, this is dope. I wish we had like taken equity.
It was a joke.
Yeah.
It was a joke. That's what it was.
It was like a bad joke. But then we see out of nowhere, from camera off, camera comes on in an instant, and it's Sax right there. He's got his hat on. He looks like the guy from what's that, like, $1 billion
Suits?
No, in New York. Succession.
Oh, I didn't watch it.
The old guy in Succession. He just comes on looking like the old guy in Succession.
We still good. The shot's still good, Pop.
Hell yeah, dude.
Watch this on YouTube.
Let's do this every time. And no one comes up here anymore. And he just says, well, wow, yeah, we could do that if you want.
He said, boys, we'll take that offline. We can do that. No problem.
We're like... He was so excited. And like, whoa, did we accidentally crack the code right there? Dude, if there's not a better sound effect for cracking the code, that's fucking sick, dude. All right, so we cracked the code.
Farts are always silent. How did that happen?
That's a rip.
That was a jack a
We're
rip.
through the moon, baby. So
That's what it was. We just broke through the moon. Nitrous
the last
oxide,
barrier.
methane gas.
so
We're sitting there trying to be composed, not shit our pants, and we just got our beaks wet.
Literally, and I think we secured the beak wedding because he was like, there are all these people like Naval, Neil Strauss, a bunch of like big names that want to get on, but first they have to like be investors, or what was the thing? You want to...
He said we signed all these people to premiere on the platform, but they're only doing that. They're only allowed to do that if they put up the cash to invest in the thing.
Right.
And he's like, they haven't put up that cash yet, so we're not going to let them create until they do. And what did I say? I was like, I mean, same goes for us. Like,
It sounds like the same for us.
right? I'm like, we don't have. Well, I was like,
until he like sees the product, until they like...
I was like, we promise we'll make the video or something.
It was whatever the fuck it was. It got Sax to crack.
Yeah.
And I've never seen him laugh other than
All
on the pod
his
with the besties, like
50 years.
once or twice. Yeah. How is he? Whatever. So who knows? We might get our beaks wet, which I don't even. That's just crazy to me. And imagine if we're making enough money on all the other projects we work on, like Hasan type shit, and then, well, Sean wants to do, I don't know, we didn't
For his
mention
whole
this.
fund.
Oh, we didn't even mention this.
Yeah.
Sean wants to do this exact thing for his whole fund, his rolling fund.
Same
Another
kind
20,
of
30 companies, signs on like one
launch
or two a month.
videos for all the companies.
Right. So literally
That's-
we can
yeah.
be just launch video team and
Launch
just
video team.
fucking crush it. So there's so much
And
opportunity.
We're also like mid rebranding. That's what we're. We didn't explain. That's when we say Visor, Vizzy, Imedia, couple like we didn't say that, but we're trying to rebrand probably because these are like really legit people in the field that like
I must just drank my microphone.
while it's funny that we got here. And it's an important example that we got here with the stupid name Smart Nonsense Media. Basically, nothing in this world matters. It is also important for optics that, like, if we are to sell to a CNN or go exclusive with Sax's fund or somebody else someday, we probably need a different name.
I also have to learn like video. we have to figure out tonight how to do this launch video. I still don't know.
We have time tomorrow. We're talking to Sax Friday.
I know, but we want him to review it tomorrow. I want to finish it tonight.
Oh, true, dude. Okay. Yeah.
So we
I think
literally
gotta
don't.
go
We
do
still don't
that.
know what we're doing. All I know is, if there's ever a moment where I'm like, this could actually be $100 million company or more, it's right now.
Oh, you should have came to lunch, Pop.
Really?
Visor. Think about everything we just explained.
Mm.
It's to your point where, like, yeah, it's one of those things that could spin off $200K in salary. Could. But you got to get to SaaS.
We're not technical at all.
No, but Sax is. Sax could give us the Axel squad that we're like, we'll just oversee. We'll give you the animators who can kind of oversee
It
these
can
things.
be. I feel like it can be machine learned.
if anyone's going to do it, it's us. And that's a quick sale to Twitter or whoever. That's why it's like
anyone that creates I mean, that's a fucking super billion-dollar company.
We are so plugged in with Sachs at this point where we could go to him and say, can we have $5 million to build out this machine learning R&D?
But that gets to the question, there's like, do you actually want to do that? Because one, there's a good chance of failure with that. It's just a fucking lot. Like, your life has to be that. If you're going to build a multi-billion-dollar company.
Maybe.
Versus, hey, let's just make like a $30 million company, $100 million company. Like, that's going to be a lot. But we're not going to kill ourselves. And we pretty much know we can do that. Whereas it gets back into the 0 to 1. Well, not really 0 to 1. It's more like, can we technically... It's actually all a technical challenge.
But at this point, it would just be a delegation challenge.
But creativity is so hard to...
I know. So, one thing my dad said for visitors, like, yeah, maybe you can have this tool that spins off these clips. You machine teach the thing to take raw footage and spin them into clips based on what we're doing. And then maybe there's a premium feature that actually gets you one of our animators to like step in and really do the thing. You know, so like our machine learning can take your clip to 80%, and there's a premium feature that gets you a specialist where you can do some of that back and forth from 90 to 100% or whatever. But I'm kind of gassed, and that's a whole different business for another time.
Yeah, I mean, we're still in like trial period with everyone. Like Sachs, we still haven't made any content for what he's actually going to pay for. Naval, they haven't gotten back to us yet.
Oh, true.
Hasan, we barely made any content. We could still be cash flow negative tomorrow.
This is all true. That was a riot. Thanks if you're here at this point.
Thanks
for being here.
Over an hour.
We can't end on a down, baby. Subscribe if you haven't on YouTube. On Apple Podcasts, should they leave a review? Dude, if we could go out on that. I think that's it, Pop. We got to get out of here.
Bye.